Hello everybody and welcome along to this video where we're taking a look at the clubs inside the bag of Sergio Garcia. Now, the all-time record point scorer for Europe in the Ryder Cup was a TaylorMade staff player for 15 years, but after he won the Masters back in 2017, his stock rose significantly, so Sergio Garcia decided to split and move to Callaway. It is with Callaway for a couple of years, but that relationship didn't really provide the results that he was looking for. So as a result, at the start of 2020, Garcia is now a free equipment agent, which makes it really interesting to take a look at the clubs inside his bag. So we're going to look for all the different clubs, starting from driver, working our way down through to the putter, talking about some of the clubs he's using, the specs, some of the stories behind them, to give you hopefully a good insight into the clubs he's using. So let's do just that, starting with a driver. So starting with the driver, and what's interesting with Sergio Garcia is that we saw a clip of him on social media during the end of lockdown where he was using a Honma TR20 driver. We all thought maybe with Honma and Justin Rose parting ways, maybe Sergio Garcia would be the new marquee name for Honma, but that hasn't materialised because he is using a Ping G410 LST driver. Now he's got this in 9 degrees with the Mitsubishi Tensei CK Pro Blue ATTX shaft. Now, LST stands for low spin technology, so compared to the standard model, this driver will knock off around about 200 to 400 RPM of spin. So clearly Garcia is looking to knock some spin off to maximise distance for him, but also what's interesting about this driver is that it is Ping's first driver with movable weight, so it has a 16-gram tungsten weight in the back that you can position in the toe or the heel to change the shot shape of the driver, and Garcia has that weight in the heel setting. Now you might most commonly associate this kind of setup for a slice of the golf ball, but actually what's more likely the scenario for Garcia is that he is having this tungsten weight in the heel to align the CG of the driver better with his most common strike location. So he's more than likely striking his driver mostly out of the heel. So having that weight positioned in the heel of the driver will most likely give him the maximum amount of ball speed while also maintaining a bit of control as well. Okay, so moving on to the Fairway Woods, and Sergio Garcia has 2 TaylorMade Sim models in his bag for 2020, so they are the latest models from TaylorMade. And what's interesting about the ones that he uses, that in his 3-wood he has the TaylorMade Sim Rocket. So the Rocket version is the same size as the standard 3-wood from TaylorMade, but he has it in a slightly lower loft, so he's got it down at 14 degrees with the Mitsubishi Tensei CK Pro Blue ATTX shaft. And having done testing myself of all the latest Fairway Woods on the market in 2020, I can say I'm not surprised that Garcia has opted for this lower lofted version, because it does launch the ball considerably higher than anything else on the market. So clearly he feels like a slightly lower loft is delivering the most optimal ball flight for him. He's also got the 5-wood as well as an option in his bag, which he rotates with the 3-iron, which we'll come on to in just a second. He's got that in 19 degrees in a similar shaft to the 3-wood. So that 3-wood 5-wood combination he would potentially be using on slightly softer courses, where he's looking to get more height and carry distance. Conversely, whereas 3-iron would be looking to chase the ball a little bit more. It's all very much course and condition dependent, but those are the 2 options potentially in the bag for Sergio Garcia this year. Right, so moving on to the irons, and as we know, Sergio Garcia is arguably one of the very best ball strikers in the game, which is why he gravitates towards really nice compact slimline blade-like irons, because he's really not looking for forgiveness from his irons. He's looking for shot shaping, workability and feel, and as a result he has chosen the Ping Blueprint iron. Now he's got these in 3 to pitching wedge. Sometimes he'll drop the 3-iron and go for a 5-wood depending on the course conditions or the layout of the course, but as we know, the Ping Blueprint iron is a one-piece forging from Ping. It's one of the most compact irons down behind the ball, so it really does encourage a lot of workability and shot shaping. It definitely doesn't inspire much confidence down behind the ball, especially in those long irons. It really does look like a very small head. It's got a very narrow sole. Sergio Garcia has got these in the Nippon NS Pro Modus 3 Tour 130X shafts, and he's also got them with this Superstroke S-Tech grip. So Superstroke signed Garcia a few years ago, and he's been using these grips for a while now. So that's the combination that Garcia uses with his irons, and as I mentioned earlier, one of the very best ball strikers in the game. Clearly he likes the workability and the feel that these Ping Blueprint irons offer him. Okay, so on to the wedges, and Sergio Garcia uses the Ping Glide forged model. Now he has a 52 degree in his bag, bent to 54 degrees. He's got that in 10 degrees of bounce, and he's also got a 58 degree lob wedge, which has 8 degrees of bounce. He's got them in the same shafts as he got his irons, so the Nippon NS Pro Modus 3 Tour 130X. And interestingly, he has both of these wedges in the standard sole. So this standard sole has a little bit of heel relief there to give him some versatility, but there's definitely more aggressive grinds available from Ping, but clearly Garcia feels like this sole design specifically works best for his kind of moderate attack angle. That's definitely what this grind is designed for. So we saw Garcia actually using the Glide 3.0 model at the start of the year, which is Ping's more forgiving wedge option that we see a lot of amateur golfers move into. So it was interesting that Garcia started with the Glide 3.0 and then worked his way into the forge, potentially liking the slightly softer feel this wedge offers and also the more compact shape down behind the ball. So there you go, Ping Glide forge wedge in a couple of different lofts for Sergio. Right, so the last club in the bag of Sergio Garcia is his putter, and he is using the Ping PLD Answer. Now this is a tour only prototype that Garcia is using, not available at retail just yet, and actually a lot of Ping staffers this year have been using these PLD models, and they are quite eye-catching because a lot of them have these horizontal grooves on the face which we've not seen from Ping before. We've seen Ping putters have TR grooves, true roll grooves that speed up off-centre hits, but this is a new design from Ping. Clearly offering something slightly different in terms of performance and feel. And interestingly, with these PLD putters we've seen, PLD standing for Ping Lab Design, some of them have grooves on the face and some of them don't. So we've seen Garcia using an Answer putter with grooves on the face, and recently I've seen him using a PLD putter without grooves on the face. So potentially Garcia's switching around, trying to find one that gives him the best feel and performance. What we would tend to expect from a putter with no grooves is that it would feel slightly firmer. And what's interesting that Garcia was using a Spider X model from TaylorMade just before lockdown began. So that's interesting that he would switch from a mallet style design, a face balanced option, and then into a very traditional Answer style putter with a lot of toe hang. So that's an interesting switch that Garcia made. And on his putter, Garcia uses what we think is a Superstroke Traction Tour 2.0 grip. It's a new model for 2020 from Superstroke, and it features spine technology, which is a heavily embossed ridge along the back of the grip, which guides the golfer's hands into consistent placement every time and to help you square the club face more often. So clearly Garcia felt there was a performance benefit there to putting that grip on, and he likes the feel and shape of that specific model. He pairs all his clubs with a Titleist Pro V1 golf ball. We saw last year, even when Garcia was a Callaway player, he did switch into the Pro V1 golf ball from Titleist, and then a few weeks later won at the KLM Open. So that concludes our look at the clubs and ball in the bag of Sergio Garcia. I hope you liked the video and found it interesting. If you did like the video, do click the like button and subscribe to the Golf Monthly YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our equipment videos. But for now, from West Hill Golf Club, it's goodbye from me. I'll see you next time.